soccer hockey game.
What was it? So let's see. It's ironic that so many of these caregivers have been punished or felonized. As I said, Josh Colton, a lawyer with Warren Law. Now the government is turning around and telling caregivers that they are needed. It's ironic. And they're turning around and telling caregivers that they are needed. Is that appropriate? First of all, is it accurate?
Well, we just argued this.
I know. You'd say no. You'd say
I would
there's
say
way.
no, because
He doesn't
they
say
did
anything
not.
like that. Doesn't
No.
say that. What's he talking about? What kind of advice is he giving? Just kidding. But in principle, he's right. I think, some
Well, that was your argument.
legal advice. Right.
I took the opposite
Fair.
side.
All right. So during the past year, the state regulators have agreed not to go after dispensaries who sell marijuana grown by caregivers. And it's, this is a good point. They said, do we want to talk about this more? I don't know. I'm just ripping on Josh's counsel. Department, let's see.
He should be here to defend himself. Is
Well,
he still here?
he was
Yeah.
invited. I saw him eating
He's in his
pizza.
office. Yeah, go get him.
Go get him. Tell him that Michael's talking shit about him. Because Charlotte's
text
not
him.
here, so we need someone to
Right.
make
I mean, it's debate. It's legal debate. So
Well, you
Colton
have him
said.
here, baby.
Colton said that he's skeptical as to whether the proposed resolution from Lara, he's walking here, he's like, what are you doing? From Lara would be effective in the long term. See, that's contrary to what I said. That's what I really want to ask.
Well, it's not supposed to be for the long
Well,
term.
screw
It's
it.
just
It should be in the long term.
I know.
Why
but
is he
it's
skeptical?
It's a stopgap.
He's saying the proposed resolution from Lara, he's skeptical as to whether the proposed resolution from Lara would be effective in the long term. See, he's not saying that he doesn't think Lara's going to keep it. He's saying that even if they were to keep it, it's not going to be effective in the long term. This is not pro-caregiver, you could say.
No, he's saying that the caregivers are not capable of supplying enough product for the patients of the state of Michigan.
And they should additionally be brought in and used and abused like they have been for the last 10 years. And when they're done with them and they've gotten the system back on track, they would no longer be needed and kicked to the curb. Does he know that when I'm talking about him like this? It's still, in my opinion, a short-term solution to a much longer-term problem. This is certainly much-needed relief and would certainly allow patients to get the same medicine that they have had under the past 10 years through December 31st. Colt added, I would be remiss to think this is the last extension. Okay, he's focused on
Have you
extension.
even seen some of the samples of the state-certified cannabis?
are they
And
sending it out to
it
people?
looks very trashy.
I'm sure.
No, it really looks bad, truly. So I don't know where it came from or who's been sitting on it. It's I don't know.
I think that, I mean,
But it does not look top shelf, and it's certainly not for the price that they're talking about.
do we know who the people are that are involved with growing it? I'm wondering if they've got any, from a reputation standpoint, who are the people that are being brought in to grow and run these houses?
We'll ask Jamie when he calls in, because I know that he knows the name of the operation. He told me, and I can't remember. We talked about it on the air Tuesday.
If it's garbage?
It's garbage. He's got pictures, and it's just garbage, and we've seen the prices. And we don't know if there's a crop even behind it. Where did they get this from? Is it something that they bought up, maybe somebody's large outdoor grow that they bought up? We don't know. They haven't been operating long enough to have produced legal cannabis, according to the new state regulations.
They're not what?
The growers that have licenses or
Yeah.
have been granted, they haven't been in operation long enough to have produced any crop.
Yeah.
This is what I don't understand.
Well, they are out
You
of
need
flower.
about 5 or 6 months. Even
It's
out of
already-
flower, you still got to grow it and trim it.
It's
and
already
cure it.
Rudiaris. It's not even cannabis sativa L. It's cannabis.
I don't know what the hell it is, but there's no way
cannabis
you can
C.
produce a crop. Yeah, that first crop's going to take 5 or 6 months to bring a decent crop. You have to cure. What do you just cut it and throw it into somebody's jar and say, "Let's go"?
I'm not arguing with you. I agree. I'm saying it doesn't make any
So,
sense.
It makes no sense. I don't know where this cannabis has come from. Where do you think it came from? It's a mystery.
Do you have any answers to that? Anyone want to guess? I think it could very well be the miracle. It's time of year. A lot of miracles gone.
It's the
Immaculate.
immaculate cultivation.
All right, what else we got? So I got so much to talk about, like so much, but I don't know where to start. I wouldn't be able to finish it because I got a lot of grievances, a lot of complaints, a lot of anger.
Well, what
Not
about the
anger, not
tomfoolery
anger, not anger, not
with
anger.
Proposition 1
What?
that we're hearing about today?
Oh,
the,
God. Yes.
the total ridiculousness that
Introduced by
Meekhoff-
Meekhoff is what? Tell us.
Yeah,
The
but
bill.
Meekhoff, he introduced a new bill. Well, I don't know if it's introduced yet, but we've seen a bill that he's planning to introduce where he took Prop A and just basically lined out everything that everybody fought so hard to ensure that Michigan people would have the freedoms of, such as home grow and micro businesses, all kinds of stuff just eliminated, lined right out.
Is he term limited?
I think so, isn't he? Yeah, I believe so.
You know, that's the problem. It's just lame duck. They just do. Who they
Well,
working for?
you know, they need 3/4 of the vote. It's going to be difficult. There's Democrats who would never allow this to happen, but it's just like a slap in the face. Every time we think that we've took a step forward, one of these assholes slaps us in the face again.
It is
I mean, what the
pathetic,
hell?
So pathetic.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the people will die on the Hill for this 12-plant home grow. This was a big issue when these things were being negotiated, and this is just not going to be negotiable. This home grow.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's no way around it.
There's no way around it, and yeah.
If someone does do something like that, you're saying that they're
I think the community will be so outraged. The people of Michigan, if you read just the proposal that was on the ballot, absolutely spelled out that you could home
Right.
grow 12 plants. It said so. It wasn't hidden in the language somewhere and people didn't know it. The majority of the people in the state of Michigan think that you should be able to freely grow marijuana in your home. So how can they just arbitrarily change this? It's going to cause a lot of outrage.
Is there any way to believe that Meekhoff just did it to appease the law enforcement community?
Well, of course.
Is there any chance it'll pass?
I don't think so. But, you know, stranger things have happened. I never thought we'd have the president that we have.
And I would say that it wouldn't be introduced if the possibility of it passing.
Well, they try and sneak it through in the lame duck before, you know,
Huh.
Gretchen and Dana get into
course.
office. Of course. And they did that. They did that once before with the emergency manager, and they managed to get the votes. So the people voted no, and then they reversed it, Michael. You know that. In lame duck in the middle of the night. So it can be done. Do I think this is going to happen in this instance? No. I really don't. But do I think that means that they're never going to make changes to this? I think they're going to make a lot of attempts to change this. It's going to be hard, but I think they're going to make attempts.
There's going to be a difference if, next time around with the change in the government. We can't really assess that yet. But there was no substantive takeovers in the government. I mean, obviously the three
Right.
branches are all Democrats, but in terms of the House and the Senate, is there swing enough where a majority exists?
I don't know. We've heard all kinds of rumors today that they could be using this as a bargaining tool for the minimum wage, the fair wage thing that they're getting ready to chop up and play around. Because I read today that they changed that fair wage thing to where they're going to get the $12 in 2020 to they're not going to get it till 2030, which is ridiculous because it'll probably be worth 2 cents by the year 2030. So, yeah, I mean, this could be a bargaining chip. Who knows what's going on in these idiots' brains, Michael? You know that they're insane up there. The majority of them are just insane. So that's why I'm looking forward to some sanity through Dana. You know, I want to say Gretchen, but more through Dana. I believe Dana's going to be the real powerful thing, the real power in Lansing. And maybe the voice of reason, hopefully.
It's kind of, I don't know. I tell you that, people can love or hate lawyers. You can give or take them.
Who hates lawyers? Come on.
What? Everyone hates lawyers.
Nobody hates
Again, I had it the other day. So a friend of mine did the whole Shakespeare. You know what Shakespeare said? No, he didn't. It's not really. You know that quote. He didn't really say kill the lawyers. He said, if you're, the idea was this bad guy who says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, which is all this lawful stuff is going to take over the government. And the comment was, if you're going to do that, you better kill all the lawyers because there's laws, lawyers, whatever. I don't need to talk.
They say they just don't personally know a lawyer.
Anyways, the point is that, and you can love them or hate them, and of course, as we know with the, they operate in the judicial system, right, or court system, which is where all resolutions are taken to, as we learned in this last segment, Marbury versus Madison. I don't have to recap that. Everyone paid attention?
Yes.
You will be quizzed later.
Yes. The judicial
They're
is in
ju-
charge.
They're in charge. I mean, they make the final
They
decision.
make the final decision on the law.
And
I listened.
you don't think about that sometimes when you're just practicing law. You don't think about like what you don't draw any conclusions about what the other branches of government's level of the process and the procedure, the quality, the training, the thoughts that go into it. I mean, somewhat professionally regulated, where there's certain expectations, and there's some truth. There's somewhat of a resemblance of a truth in that, an expectation of acting a certain way, supposed to, behave, or things are supposed to happen a certain way, it's not as nebulous as another. And I say that because everyone that I'm talking about are lawyers, and I'm biased towards lawyers. But in my experience in medical marijuana law, and the times that I found myself before the legislature, they're some of the worst people I've ever met in my life. Deb, talk to me. Legislature's terrible.
I don't think so. Legislators are terrible.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying lawyers are terrible.
No.
I fussed over. No, absolutely. And there's only a few exceptions to the rule. Jeff Irwin.
Who is a hero?
Yusuf Rabi.
What do they do? Who are the people? Where do they come up with these ideas? Seriously, this whole
They're
thing.
Heroes to themselves.
Is that what it is?
I think.
And
I have no idea. I'm just baffled who supports some of these people.
It's not good.
No, it's really not.
It's 9:40. Jimmy's not calling in. I'm about to call it.
I've just closed my eyes again, climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train, trying to take away my worries of today and leave tomorrow behind. Ooh, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Fly me high through the starry skies, baby, to an astral plane. Cross the highways of fantasy. Help me to forget today's pain. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Though the dawn may be coming soon, there still may be some time